Call the Jesuits Vocations Promotions Team 426-6101, local 3406. Once again, 426-6101, local 3406.
Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang simbahang lingkod ng bayan. Ang Social-Political Apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. Ito ang Kwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan. Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Want to find out more about the famed org community of the Ateneo? Yeah. Wondering what projects and initiatives our student organizations are currently up to? Curious to hear the perspectives and motivations of the different people that make up the org community? Tara na't magkwentuhan! Kwentuhang MVP takes you to the vibrant and passionate organization community of the Ateneo de Manila. Tune in every Friday as we catch up with our student leaders and our organizations and find out how they're continually pushing forth with their advocacies. Kwentuhang MVP, taking the MVP to you. Radyo, 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 katipunan.
W Eagle kami, di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, kawal ni Ignacio, Punero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, radyo, katipunan. Radyo,
Meron? Ano nga ba ang meron? Paano nga bang mabuhay ng tapat sa meron? Don't you wish you can relive your philo classes? The terror teachers? The terrible oral exams? Or the even terrifying but liberating and life-changing aha moments? Lundagin mo, baby! Here's your chance! Lundagin mo, baby! Kasama ang mga pilosopong sina Jovi Miroy at Ron Capinding. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping upward, leaping forward. Lundagin mo, baby! Leaping to greater heights, to greater wisdom, to greater magis. Lundag na, Ateneo! Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B, here on Mind Ed.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
Are you feeling sore? We can make that better. Tune in to the Ateneo Senior High School's first radio program, SOAR, the Seniors On Air Radio, where you can listen to music you want straight from our playlists. Don't change that channel yet, because SOAR is ready to put the you in youth. SOAR, Seniors on Air, here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Baka naman pwede.
Baka naman pwede.
Baka naman pwede.
Mga isyung napapanahon ating pag-usapan.
Baka naman pwede.
Gamit ang mga pananaw mula sa iba't ibang kalinangan.
Baka naman pwede.
Mula sa Institute of Philippine Culture, kami inyong samahan, tayo'y maghuntahan. Dito lang sa Baka Naman Pwede. Tuwing Huwebes, alas 3 ng hapon, dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Tara na't simulan ng inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Father Cali Llamado ng Manila Cathedral at Binibining Risa Sinson Kaupeng ng Light of Jesus Community dito sa Kapit Pandasal sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpa at tama. Buhay atin mista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawan ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New Wave. Surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there. everyone! Good afternoon! Coming to you live on Radio-Katipunan 87.9 FM via Zoom. I'm Max, and when it comes to what's happening, I'll serve you the facts. So please take this hour to sit back and relax because this is New Wave. So a very important question to ask everyone. How are you? How are we all doing? It's been a very overwhelming 2 weeks. So know that Ateneo LG for the students is open once again for consultations for anything needed. And before the school year starts, now is really the time to sit down, have a chat, and to process everything that needs to be processed because it hasn't been, as I said, it hasn't been an easy month. I don't know what changes are going to happen within the next month, so let's just hope for the best. Let's hope that everything will be okay. And once again, don't forget that the school is there to help you out for whatever you may need. Now, something is happening on Sunday, something that will be a happy event, something that will be festive. It's going to be the Bagong Buhay Thanksgiving concert and provincial mass right before that. And to talk about it is the JMM director and our friend Lester Mendiola. So, hi Sir Les, tell us more about what's going to be happening on Sunday.
Hi, Max.
Hi.
Good afternoon. Yes, we're having our concert. This is actually our first face-to-face concert during this pandemic, so it's pretty special. And we basically want to mark the end of the Ignatian year because, as you know, we opened the Ignatian year last year.
Yes,
I think around May, and then we will end it on the feast day of our patron, Saint Ignatius of Loyola. So, yep, a concert is happening. Aside from the concert, though, we're also going to have the traditional province mass.
Yes, yeah.
Which we usually have at the Ateneo High School covered courts. So it will happen at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. That's July 31. And it's your birthday, Max!
Yes, it is! So, double celebration!
Yes.
So, commonly asked question, will the concert and the mass be held in the same place? And is there a tentative schedule already for how, like, the flow of things, what's going to happen in between? Can you tell us a bit?
Yes. So the mass is going to happen at 3 o'clock p.m. And it will be presided by our Father Provincial, Father Jun Viray, SJ, and Father Danny Wang, SJ, will be the homilist. So that's going to happen at 3 o'clock p.m. And then normally the province mass would end around 3:30 or earlier than that. And then we usually have snacks, yung salo-salo where everyone gathers for food. We'll have food pa din. And what's people are also looking forward for the ice cream.
Oh, perfect for the weather, actually.
Yeah. And then after the snacks, then we'll have the concert in the same venue.
In the same venue.
Yes.
All right. So, Sir Les, how can people attend the concert both online and offline? What are the rules and what are the things people need to secure before entering campus?
Well, they need to register online. The link is posted on our social media pages. That's Jesuit Music Ministry, Jesuit Communications, PH Jesuits. They just need to fill out that form as a pre-registration. If they are from the Ateneo and they have Blue Pass access, no need to register. So just present your Blue Pass access to enter the event. And then, of course, face masks are required all the time. And there will be social distancing as well. So we'll celebrate, but at the same time, we'll celebrate it safe.
Of course. Safety is going to be the priority. We really need to take that into account more than ever. And the school year is starting up as well. So very important that we keep those protocols, and of course we have our masks on us at all times. So, Sir Les, tell us a little bit more about what to expect from the concert, or at least what you're allowed to tell us about who's going to be performing, how it's going to be.
Yes. So we have a lot of artists performing. Some are our JMM artists and some are our friends. So let me give you a rundown, Max, of who will be performing.
Alright.
So Bukas Palad Music Ministry will be there. Pansol Choir, Musika Chiesa, The Lighter Side Movement, Tinig Barangka, with Himig Jesuita,
Oh.
Arman Ferrer,
Ah.
Darwin Lumentigar, Floyd Tena, Sister Bubbles Bandojo, Ray Malipot, Maan Villanueva, and Marvin Ong. Yan.
Wow, so it's going to be a very loaded show, something to look forward to, and a way also for some of the students to go back to campus. I know some students who want to attend because they miss campus, especially the ones who were there for high school to college. So it's going to be
Yes.
a nice day to come back, of course. And as we close the Ignatian year, a new year will begin. So
Yes, and
what
we
better way
also
than the show?
want to welcome back the students as well.
Yes, yes.
So please come.
All right. So thank you, Sir Lester. We'll see you there, online or offline. So students, don't forget to check that out. And I guess James will just post the registration links in the comments so that people can check it out and register and hopefully attend. It'll be fun. And the ice cream is going to be something to look forward to. Of course,
Yes.
just putting that out there. Yes.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you, Sir Les. Rest up. All right. So once again, the links for that will be posted in the stream of the Facebook Live. So if you would like to check it out, go ahead. And for students also, I guess a little Blue Pass tip. Fill out your Blue Passes 24 hours before the event. So if you're entering at like, let's say 10 a.m., fill it out the day before at 10 a.m. or a little after 10 a.m. Because I've had the experience where if I filled it out at like 9 a.m. and I was entering the campus the next day at 10 a.m., it wouldn't work anymore. So make sure that it's either exactly 24 hours or within the 24 hours before that. This also goes for classes, and I know that some of our classes are starting up. So just a friendly reminder, take that into account, especially for those who will be entering campus for the first time. You can check this out online. Just search up Ateneo Blue Pass. It's a website, not an app. And also a little pro tip, if it's not working for the same day entrance, just put today and tomorrow and the Blue Pass should be working. So that's just a little Blue Pass survival guide from me and my experiences from the past few months. So hopefully it'll help you so that you can have a problem-free time entering campus. Also, if your car does not yet have a sticker or your drivers do not yet have like access to the campus, don't forget to fill up a car form and registration form for them as well so that they can find spots within the campus to park and won't need to leave. So, all right. Now, the moment we've all been waiting for. Joining me today is a friend and a director and writer with several credits to his name, such as My Lockdown Romance, Hell Come Home, many episodes for Regal Studios Presents, and now his latest film, Tahan. Coming to us live all the way from Baguio, please welcome Direk Bobby Bonifacio Jr. Hi, Direk.
Hi, Maxine.
Hi, Direk. How are you feeling?
Grabe, still a bit in shock sa nangyari ngayon.
Of course.
And yeah, I'm glad most of the people here are safe anyway.
That's good. So I'm hoping that this next hour, your next 24 hours in Baguio will go smoothly. Please stay safe. Sana there are no more aftershocks. But then, like now, let's talk about your movies and at least try to relax a little bit. So, the past year has actually been very busy for you. And I think the past week alone also, you had 2 back-to-back releases. So, how have you been celebrating?
It's been good. My movie was launched last week. This movie, Tahan. It's entitled Tahan in Viva Max. It's my first it's my first movie for released by Viva.
Yeah.
It's not originally produced by Viva. It was an independent film that was acquired by Viva for the streaming app, and so luckily it got acquired. So now it's out on the broad for a broader audience to appreciate.
Yes, exactly. It's actually out on a very accessible platform. So, Direct, this isn't our first conversation we're having on Radio Katipunan, but for our new viewers, before we get into what's happening at the present, can you walk us through what got you interested in film and like the start of your journey as a director?
Well, as I told you before, I really watching movies as a kid, and I got inspired by my dad got me a camera, and we had a projector in our house. So film projector pa yung 16mm.
Oh, okay.
So that 16mm film projector, and watch all these silent movies before. And so the aspect of film that I got interested in was screenwriting first. So I started writing my personal scripts before. And then when I was in college in Ateneo, my dad got me kasi tambay ako ng ComDep before. So if you're a communications major, kilala nyo pa si MT, si Mang Tony before, who used to be one of the technicians in the ComDep. I'd hang out with him, and he's a pretty good editor. He taught me how to edit before, so I got inspired. My dad got me my own editing system back then. Tapes pa gamit nun. I mean, DVD tapes. And after that, when I graduated, I pursued a career in the media industry na. Until I got my break to make my movies.
Yes, wow. And it's been a fruitful career. So, out of curiosity, when you would tambay in the ComDep, which ComDep was it? Is it the one now na in front of Red Brick Road, or was it the one closer to the covered courts pa?
Ang tagal, ComDep was very intimate before yung building namin. It's the one na it's a different island. It's not far away.
Oh.
by the Cov Courts. Ayun, sa likod
na. Near the Cov Courts. Yeah. Now it still has its sign actually na ComDep, and then like that's where some of the theater productions are.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much we had our own little world back then because we had our own building, and ang layo niya. Ayun, it was fun. Pero ngayon everything's centralized na. Right.
Yeah. Now we're we're in front of the Red Brick Road, so we're near everything. So it's less running to classes. You can kind of walk leisurely now. Sometimes there's food pa along Red Brick Road. So
yeah. So I guess different style na ngayon, but we enjoyed our isolation back then.
I'm sure. And then it was nice actually to have that whole building to yourselves. Like, I'm sure that was also like fun in terms of classes. Then all of you kind of just know each other also.
Yeah. And it pretty much looked like homey. It was very homey in the literal sense because it looked like a house.
Yes, that's true.
In the actual format, it was a house with many rooms. So we would just hang out there like we were all at home.
That's funny. So anyway, now let's go back to the present. So congratulations also because Tahan is #1 on Viva Max. Like it's #1 on the streaming app. So that's very cool. So these two things that you released last week, one was an episode called Flowers for Sylvie for Regal Studios Presents. And then the other one is this movie Tahan. So out of curiosity, did the filming for both of those overlap at any point?
Not really. Well, because Regal Studio Presents Flowers for Sylvie is actually a TV episode. So Regal Presents has these 30-minute episodes every Sunday, and it's lang siya, individual stories per episode siya.
Yes.
Mga series na itutuloy next week. So you watch it today, sarado yung kwento today.
Yeah.
So when we planned for that taping, it was I actually pitched it right before Tahan was going to shoot. Was filmed around May pa, and then the post-prod. It was actually going to overlap with my other movie that's coming out in September.
Yes.
So we actually went to Baguio. It's ang title niya is Bula. So I shot for for a whole week in Baguio. And then muntik na talaga siyang mag-overlap kasi the filming schedule got postponed for a few weeks kasi there was a who tested positive for COVID, so it almost overlapped. Muntik na siyang ma-postpone, but at least we finished on time, so I got to shoot on the 19th. I pitched the story, and the taping schedule was actually scheduled ahead of time. So parang I had 3 weeks until I shoot that episode. So nung bumaba na ako galing Baguio before I got to shoot the episode.
All right. Okay. So it was spaced out naman. So okay, now let's talk about Tahan before I actually ask you about Bula. So without giving away too many spoilers, can you give us a glimpse of what Tahan is about? Though I watched it already, but
okay.
Yes.
So Tahan is pretty much a bold movie in the literal sense and the figurative sense. Ang bold ng topic niya actually. So it's about a story of a high-end escort, high-class escort, Elise, who actually had a very domineering mom controlling her life and her career. So kumbaga, meron siyang bugaw na nanay. And as we see her go through her life as an escort, we see her life spiral downwards actually, and involving deaths of some of her clients and some of her men, which involves her mother in these murders. So ayun, doon lang ang makikwento ko.
Yes, actually. Yeah. It reminded me of some of the movies that we would watch actually in a Philippine cinema class. But I will get in Ateneo, so I will get to that a little later. But for now, what impressed me about the movie was the directing of the actors, because I think both of the leads, Chloe Barreto and Jacqueline Jose, did very good jobs playing their roles, and those were both very difficult roles to carry out. So we know that Chloe Barreto is a new artist, and her work has actually been very recent, while Miss Jacqueline Jose is an industry veteran. So as a director, do you have different approaches on set for actors that are newer or actors that are more established, or is it the same? How does it go? So let's walk through your processes now.
Meron naman actually, especially at least for Tahan, I had time. I knew way in advance that I was going to shoot it at this certain. So I had the opportunity to actually sit down with Chloe and discuss and analyze the script with her. Nag-scene actually kami. And I had to know kung ano yung capacity niya as an actress. Some of her bits and pieces of her life story actually. So it helped out na very, very open siya to me about her life. So at least meron kaming parts during the shoot that magbubulungan na lang kami, or parang may sasabihin ako maliit na bagay sa kanya before the scene na isipin mo baka pwedeng ito yun. And then she knows the intention na, and she knows her motivation. So for new actors, I try to either get to know them first, or try to either be technical about it, or be very emotional about it. But at the same time, importante din for me as a director to be open and ask for help from the more seasoned actor.
Okay.
Kasi sila naman yung magkasama sa eksena eh. So
yes.
So when they discuss their the scenes, it's important for them to help each other out. So for me, when I first met Miss Jane, who always does her assignment, her homework, and her character. Dumadating yan sa set, handa na, and then kikwento na lang niya sa'yo kung paano yung magiging approach niya, if I approve of it or if I like it or not. And then during that time, I told her, ma'am, tulungan po natin si Chloe. Let's palabasin natin yung potential niya dito. At the same time, it was my first time working with a seasoned act with Miss Jane, Of
course, with Miss Jacqueline.
who whose reputation will precede her na parang akala ko scary siya and all. And then so pag kinausap ko naman, so I had to be honest na tulungan po tayo, and then during that time alam na naman niya ang gagawin. She assured me tutulungan niya si Chloe. So during the scenes before we shoot every scene na magkasama sila, makikita ko sila in one room, inaayos nila yung lines nila, and
Wow.
together. So it was all out actually support for Chloe from Miss Jacqueline Jose also.
That's good actually, because this movie dealt with very heavy topics, and it was in general very heavy subject matter. So it's good to see that that the set behind the scenes everything was actually very healthy. Like, it's a healthy environment. So that actually brings me to my next question, because as mentioned earlier, this is a film that deals with intimacy. So as a director, how do you handle this? Like, how would you help your actors, apart from talking to them, of course, but how would you help them feel safe, especially during these scenes where they have to be very vulnerable, both emotionally and physically?
Well, emotionally, you're kind of used to that already, right? In terms of drama, and you know the drill. You know the people to ask help from, and at least mas ano, 'di ba? Mas hindi ko na masabing mas madali, pero mas ano, mas sanay na ako na
Yes.
mag-handle ng emotional scenes. Like, but most especially on the other hand, yung intimate scenes, it's my first time. It's my first time to do a sexy movie with intimate scenes like that. Kasi yung iba naman, a lot of actors have their limits, and ngayon kasi wala nang censorship in terms of filming, eh, 'di ba? So we can be braver in our execution of scenes. In terms of that, I was lucky enough to have team members like my assistant director na sanay na in terms of doing intimate scenes. Like, she's done several Viva Max movies as well. So I asked help from her. It's important to have a female staff member on set to help your actors, kasi usually it's the female actors that feel vulnerable pagdating ng execution ng scenes na yun. No? So we protect our actors every time. Like, there's technical processes where during a scene, bawas tao sa set, only the essential people are there. We discuss it beforehand. Ito ang gagawin nyo, ito ang mangyayari. We're going to do one long take para isa na lang, and then kung may additional shot, sobrang short lang. But then let's do it in one whole take. Ito ang gagawin nyo para hindi na natin ulitin. And then at the same time, because the female assistant director is there to guide them, they feel more at ease. Actually, I don't even I only see them doing their intimate scenes out of the set. I mean, nasa labas ako, nasa monitor ako habang nanonood.
Okay. I see. So it's the assistant director who's with them.
It's the assistant director who's with them. Iba-iba naman discount sa director, but as a director, but ako as my respect to my actors din, wala ako sa set kapag like in their literally naked moments. So I'm just there in the monitor, watching and monitoring with my producer.
I see. Wow, that's very unexpected actually. But also, like, I remember that was also a lesson in like in our film production classes, that they said there should be times where a director should know when they can be on set and when they should just watch with monitors, not only to see how it would translate on the screen only, because sometimes it looks different in real life versus on the screen, but also out of respect to the actors. So it's very good to see that in practice.
Yes. So in general naman, ganun din yung practice. Respect the actors na lang din.
That's good. So also, the last time we spoke, it was for My Lockdown Romance, and I think most of the films of yours that I've seen were films that you both wrote and directed. This is the first film of yours that I saw that it was written by someone else. Actually, she was one of the actors, right, in the movie in Tan. Yeah. So like it's my first time seeing something you directed that somebody else wrote. So with that being said, how do you bring as a director, how do you bring someone else's story to life while keeping it something that's still yours? Like how do you still add the Bobby Bonifacio Jr. touch to a story that somebody else wrote? How do you leave your mark as a director?
Right. Like Quinn Carillo is the actress and she's a writer of the movie Tahan. Brilliant script nung binasa ko. I was really entertained. But then syempre as a director, for me there are different approaches. Some directors would interpret the script as is, as written. Ako usually, I find myself always adding something and revising the script on set.
Oh, wow.
To actually add my sensibilities to the story and to the approach. Like, for example, the first draft of Tahan wasn't really originally written as executed as what you saw on screen. Like, of course, I'm known for a lot of gory. I have more gory movies, right? Like Hell Come Home.
Yes.
And Balik Diwa. So, parang nung nabasa ko yung Tahan, sabi ko, I think I have to push this further kasi I've done some things already in my previous movies na pwede ko pang i-push further. So, no, I added some of the things that I wanted to see, like in terms of gore, in terms of violence, na parang pwede kong idagdag dito, which will push the story further. And then, of course, I also have to revise a lot of parts in the story, which I thought would work better for the journey of the character and for experience as well. So I revise along the way on writing, and at the end of the day, it's a story written by Quinn Carillo. It's already written, but a lot of the interpretation came from me as a director. So medyo may writing process din involved talaga. If you see the closing credits of the movie, you'll see some additional scenes and dialogues written by ako yung nakapagsulat nun.
I see. Of course. So now you have another Viva Max movie also coming out in September. Though I understand you can't talk about it much yet, but wow, 2 movies in a row. So can you tell us a little about it? Just what you can share so that people can also kind of look forward to it.
Okay, so next for me, it's going to be shown around September. It's called Bula. It was originally titled Laundromat. But then it's ibang-iba naman to compared to Tahan. Compared to Tahan, but it's also a sexy movie with some thriller elements as well. But there's some sexual deviance involved about sexual deviance in the mind of a laundry woman ng isang laundry shop. So yeah, it will be really fun and entertaining, interesting to watch.
I see that thrillers are like your favorite genre. Would you consider it your signature? Because like if I were a director looking at the scripts of the stories that you're telling me about, I wouldn't know how to turn them into thrillers, but you know how to turn them into thrillers.
I get excited kasi watching and reading thriller scripts, horror and thriller. I get excited reading them and watching them, especially in slasher movies. So and at the same time, the thing about the industry is what they see you excel in or yung mga nakita nilang nagawa mo na before, they will offer you projects similar to those. So, of course, hindi ko naman siya tatanggihan kung maganda. But then I think I also, I don't think this, but I know that I also enjoy doing drama and romance comedy a lot also. And thank God I was able to get this opportunity to do stories like those through TV naman. Which, ayun, I was given the opportunity to do several episodes na from Regal Studio Presents. So, yeah.
It's actually your versatility as a director that you're capable of making very feel-good, happy rom-com movies. Because I remember my lockdown romance. It was very rom-com, very light, happy. And then bigla, this one is a thriller that dealt with like heavy societal problems of the Philippines also. Like if you really take the time to look at the scenes, like for me, when I was analyzing it, I was like, wow, that's actually something that happens in real life. It's very possible. And it's very, very heavy. So like imagine the like from this to this, you can really do both.
Yeah, so and I'm thankful that some people in the industry actually gave me the opportunity to do both. And I hope I can keep doing different materials because you don't want to be boxed in one genre.
Yeah, of course. Of course. And I think it's really good that they allow you to do that also because as you said, you don't want to be boxed in one genre and creatively your process, like you'd want to grow, you'd want to do different things, learn different things along the way also. So we were originally supposed to have some students here from the comm department, but unfortunately, some couldn't go because of the earthquake this morning, because of Wi-Fi problems. So I'll ask some of the questions on their behalf. But before that, for you, as a director, knowing your versatility, you could do rom-coms, you can do thrillers, you can do gory, you could do happy high school feel good, but what's a story that you want to tell or that you probably will tell your audience next? Like maybe not right away after Bula, like maybe in a few years time, or like your dream script.
My dream script, I want to do a destination movie of out of the Philippines. Like a romantic story done somewhere in actually still Asia, siguro possibly or Japan. And I want to tell an OFW story as well. Because for the longest time I've lived in Guam actually. So parang medyo familiar din ako sa immigrant life.
Yeah.
So I think that's one interesting story to tell. But definitely will be about the Filipino journey naman.
Yeah, and that would be very authentic because you have the experience that will really bring the script to life.
Yeah. And talking about people that you've met and you've interacted with, it's always something that will get, maglalagay ng puso dun sa story at pelikula.
Yeah, and honestly for me, like that's one type of movie I like abroad sometimes because like, you live in the Philippines, so sometimes you want to see different locations. I've never been to Korea or Japan, so it would be really nice to see a Filipino like romantic story set in those places. It's like going on a vacation through your screen also. So
I could still also imagine the stress pag ginawa mo yun sa ibang bansa. Fun kind of stress.
Yeah, of course, because that's how filmmaking is. Like even like I remember before the pandemic when we had our on-site like film projects, it would be really stressful but also really fun. And then like after it, bigla you have new things to laugh about. And then like it's a different type of bonding with the people you're working with as well.
Correct. So ayun nga, parang stress comes along with it, but it's a whole level of high na makukuha mo after kapag nakompleto mo siya.
Yeah, that's true. Because like there comes a point where it's kind of part of it, the stress that comes with it. It'll be there. But because you love it so much also, it's fulfilling. It's a very fulfilling job.
Yeah, and at the same time, the fulfillment of it is you see several people actually individually doing their best just to make the product and just to give justice to whatever story is handed on to them. So,
that's so true.
Ayun, it's a feeling of family pagdating sa isang movie set. Feeling of family and community na masarap balik-balikan palagi.
That's so true. And what's fun about it also, like you and the crew, because a movie is something that you can literally see, you can keep a copy of. It's like a it's like a very concrete memento. Like, oh, you can go back to your movie anytime. We all like to rewatch our favorite movies. And then, like, what I enjoy also sometimes, like, when you're sitting with the person who made the movie, and then they tell you all of, like, the background information, like, oh, this scene, it wasn't supposed to be there. Oh, that was an accident that we made it.
Right. Pero nakakamiss nga yung times no, I literally get to physically keep your movies. Kasi before masa ka na makakabili ka ng DVD or bibigyan ka ng DVD copy. Right now, it's all like, you store it in your drive.
Yeah, it's in your drive or it's on streamers. Like you don't even have a copy of it when it's on the streamers. Once they pull it out, it's gone unless you like buy a digital copy.
Right,
But
right.
I agree with you.
Instead, the digital copy is so easy to lose. Parang hindi mo siya ang hirap i-preserve. And ayun lang yung sad part about it. Kasi, di ba, it's nice to have like physical copies of what you've done.
That's so true. Well, maybe you can make special editions for your movies. Like, special DVD, and then it'll have like, bonus features behind the scenes.
Pag nagkaroon, padalang kita.
Thank you. I'll wait for that. So, anyway, we've been talking about film. We even talked a bit about your time in Ateneo. But for you, like from your perspective as a director, with the things you know now, with the things you learned in Ateneo, and from making your films after Ateneo, how does one learn how to direct exactly? Like, are there specifics? Are there technicalities? Does one really have to sit in a directing class, or how? Like, to you, what do you think?
I think the best, of course, you go, part of the process, you go to your directing class.
Of course.
Theory classes, of course. But then the best teacher always is experience eh. Parang be on an actual set, see how it goes. Start from whatever department you can start in as a production assistant, as a writer, but it's important to see what's going on set para ma-realize mo kung ano yung effort na ginagawa ng bawat isa at ano yung approach to actually handle things on set. And of course, there would be filmmakers who are auteurs na ginagawa nila lahat, di ba? From all as parang sila na yung buong lahat ng department. Pero in general, lalo na sa commercial production, you need to have parang it's nice to be able to work with different people at different times. Sabi nga nila, some directors have their own tribe na sa production, isang team yung kasama, maganda din yung sense of form a sense of family and community in one in your projects. But then ayun nga, ang ganda if you're able to actually interact with several people and work with them well so that they can bring out the best in your project. And as a director, you can lead them with your vision and have their individual styles come out as well to make the project a lot better.
Yeah, that's so important also, that your team also very much believes in what you're doing, because it really shows. Like, in a movie, when you watch it, when the team is passionate about it.
Yeah.
So, right now.
And to speak out your vision always, kung director ka na, di ba?
Of course.
And, well, actually, kahit hindi ka director, kapag may naisip ka, pwede mo natin gawin to, you can be vocal.
Mm-hmm.
It will, it might help to actually make the project better. Like, for example, for this one movie na ginawa ko, when we were exploring the material, the script, pagdating sa set, naisip ko, wait, alam ko na kung paano approach ang gagawin natin. Sinabi ko sa lahat, itong gagawin nating approach, sakyan ninyo. We all got excited.
Oh, wow.
And we were all having fun while shooting it.
I kind of miss that. Like, even if like most of the productions I've been part of are like in Ateneo, like student-led films, it was really a different feeling, and it was really a different sense of community. I super miss that. Not all of us have gotten to go to classes past Zoom yet. So, Hi.
Hindi mo mag-build actual set na more than Zoom. Kapag sa film production, di ba? It's the most ideal naman talaga.
It is. And actually, communication-wise, it's a lot easier also because, like, I think online sometimes things tend to get interpreted a little bit differently. But when you're on set, you're all there, you can read the room, you know the vibes. It's also super, super different in your understanding of what's going on.
Yeah. Well, except kung Zoom movie ang gagawin ninyo, right?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Pero, di ba, parang you can only do so much of those types of movies.
Yeah.
You'll have to go on a regular set. Which, buti everyone's brave enough to go out na these days. And we have all these opportunities na to be out there and shoot stuff. So let's go ahead and do it and do things.
Yeah, of course. And it was actually very nice to see that the Philippine movie industry was able to adapt to like the changes needed because of course like it kind of changed the landscape of like filming movies also kind of changed. Like for this, did you have to do like lock-ins and things like that?
Yes, we had to do lock-ins, and as we actually as what we actually realized and learned, mas nagiging efficient kapag naka-lock-in kayo and out of town because kung out of town you're forced to lock in with each to be on a lock-in with each other, and then the movie gets finished faster because you only have a certain budget to be out of town, so you finish it in a certain number of days. So hindi na-extend yung shooting. Tendency kasi is kung hindi kayo naka-lock-in, a lot of people will tawag natin doon segue mag-shoot ako today, pero kahapon may shoot ako sa ibang lugar. Makakarating ako ng late the next day, tapos fresh pa ako sa kabilang shoot, so medyo ako dito. So naiwasan yung mga bagay na ganon.
I see. Actually, I was told recently by people in a lock-in taping, they said, oh, when you're locked in, you live and breathe the movie. Everywhere you look, even if it's not shooting hours, you're in the movie. And because of that, like, as an actor also, you really feel what you need to feel for the movie because, in a sense, there's no escape. You look there, the director's there, you look there, your co-actors are there, there's no going home. It's only being in the movie, which also helped with the process.
You get a day break in between.
Of course.
Pero, ayun nga, kita mo lahat ng staff and crew all the time, your co-actor. At the same time, you get the chance to actually exchange ideas with your teammates. Habang on a break, magkakasama kayo. Siguro ang ganda gawin to. And then the actors get to interact with each other more. Kung may chance sila, yun. So
it's a lot of bonding.
But it's fun. I'm
sure. So, next, you're a director. I know you know how to take creative risks. I've seen you do it in a lot of your movies. So I guess your advice for young filmmakers, how do we take risks? How can we go out of our comfort zones when it comes to movies? Like, what should we think about when we're making these choices, whether it be as a director, as an actor, as a producer, as any part of the film set?
Ako, for me, gawin niyo lang. Parang gawin niyo lang. And
just do it.
Kasi parang it's not about taking the risk just to take the risk. Parang ganun. It's more of like speaking your mind and speaking what you feel you want to do creatively. Kasi di ba parang hindi naman tayo gumagawa ng risk para lang magpasikat.
Of course.
Naisip natin to, we think this will work and it will work for the story. And when we do, and then we do. If you've seen, actually nagulat nga ako kasi I was given the chance to be more risky dun sa mga eksena before sa Hell Come Home. Have you seen Hell Come Home?
Not yet. I'm actually very afraid of blood.
Oh. So anyway, I did it for Star Cinema, which we know is a very family-oriented production company, very wholesome usually. But when ginawa ko yung Hell Come Home as a horror flick, nagulat ako kasi sinabihan ako na alam mo, i-push mo na kung anong mga pwede mong gawin. Push mo na. Tapos ganun ba? So sige, ito, gawin natin ito. Bam, 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 bam. So at the end of the day, parang wala kang regrets after na I should have done this and that. But of course, especially you, if I'm talking to you students, diba? You have this all of these chances in the world to take risks and make mistakes, especially for your student films, kasi wala pang naglilimit sa inyo. Unless, of course, your teachers will say na, kailangan values-oriented and stuff like that. And ganito lang. Pero parang as students, nothing's barring you to be creative and do whatever you want. Of course, syempre, budget maybe.
Yes. Yes, but actually, sometimes it's those restrictions like budget or like the topic that the professor gives that actually forces you to be very creative because of those limitations that you wouldn't necessarily put on yourself in the beginning. All of a sudden, you have to think of ways around it. Like budget, like for example, budget. You can't exactly have a big VFX whatever, so you have to figure out other ways to do it. So it also helps, I guess, learning how to be a filmmaker.
Usually naman talaga, having limits will actually push beyond your limits and through other ways and other means. Pero ayun nga, parang gawin nyo na lahat ng mga bagay na gusto nyo gawin ngayon kasi pagdating nyo sa real world, you'll have to learn how to make compromises then. Kasi pagdating nyo sa actual dealing with producers and dealing with creative producers, then you have to accept the reality na sometimes you have to compromise and you have to be creative in other ways and in more limiting ways.
But as you said, that's where your mind really works. That's where your creativity is pushed even further.
Yeah. But ayun nga. But I was lucky enough naman like for the latest movie then with my producer here and with Viva, of course, parang they allowed me to just do whatever I want. And ayun nga, so I was able to actually give the ideas that I randomly think about. At ilagay natin dito.
Alright, we have a comment actually from one student who was supposed to be here, but because of Wi-Fi constraints couldn't join us. He said, this is Ian Bundok. He's one of our co-producers. He said, go Max and direct Bobby. So, hi Ian.
Ian. Hello.
Hi Ian. So, okay, now next question, which I'm actually very curious about. But in your career, like in filmmaking, whether it be directing, writing, anything, but filmmaking in general, what are non-film related skills that you need in order to be able to maneuver the film industry here in the Philippines?
Non-film, usually lakas ng loob, self-confidence and PR.
Yes.
PPR, which is networking. Medyo mahina pa ako dyan actually. So parang but you learn it along the way. Na parang kasi there's so many people that you have to get along with. You working with so many other people. So that's one thing that you have that's one thing na kailangan mo matutunan along your journey kasi kapag takot ka to learn with to actually meet new people or to work with new people, mahirapan ka because not everyone will be there for you all the time. Not everyone you're used to will be there for you all the time. Of course, you meet loyal people, you meet your loyal companions along the way. Pero kahit sila, 'di ba, minsan you have to go separate ways. So kung takot kang makatrabaho ang bagong tao, then mahihirapan ka. So you just have to be very how do you go there? How do you talk about that? Outgoing, I guess. And ayun, very personable. Very personable.
Yes.
Tapos, syempre, budgeting skills.
Yes.
How do you make things work for you? Para pag sinasabihan ka palagi, walang budget para dyan. So you have to find ways and you have to actually know how to figure out kung tama ba yung mga kasama or producer mo na hindi nyo talaga afford or there has a way. So, ayun din. Those are some of the things that life skills actually.
Life skills. Exactly, like budgeting, PR skills, parang, and knowing like who your loyal friends are. Parang those are things that happen like inside and outside of a film set. So
Yeah.
very true to life. When you said budgeting skills, brought more flashbacks about how when I was still a student, and then like the prof was like, okay, you have this much, but you have this much, but you need 3 actors. You need to be able to feed them and keep them for hours. And then we were just like, oh my goodness, oh no.
Di ba parang yun na pagdating mo sa filmmaking, kailangan mo pa rin pala masanay sa mga Excel sheets and spreadsheets.
Yeah, that's so true. Excel sheets, spreadsheets. Now, actually, sometimes we use Notion,
Yeah.
so it's a little more collaborative. Like, honestly, okay, I thought that Notion would stay in college, and then like now everyone's telling me like, oh my gosh, you need to master Notion, you need to master Excel, you need to master this, and I'm like, oh no.
Right. Oh, important din ang shopping skills, kasi parang it's also a way of parang getting to negotiate and haggle with people. Kasi in the real world, money is involved na talaga eh.
For sure.
So to haggle with other people, to negotiate with other people, and negotiate for yourself as well. And yung alam mo kung saan mas murang bumili ng stuff, like kung mabibili mo ba sa mall yan, baka mas mura sa Divisoria or sa ukay-ukay. Kasi if your collaborator in your film, for example, your wardrobe, says na ito ang presyo ng mga ito yung presyo ng mga wardrobe na bibili natin. Saan mo ba binibili? Sa mall, sa department store, ba't hindi ka pumunta sa Divisoria or something like that? Mga ganong bagay na you'll just realize when you're on set already or when you're doing it already.
Okay, film students, keep that in mind. We need to learn how to become good shoppers.
Especially if props are involved, you have to know where to get them the cheapest actually, but the cheapest but will work for your project.
Yeah, and of course something that will be durable to last for the project.
Yeah.
Also, the most haggling we did, I think, in the more recent years of like the film classes in Ateneo, we would all fight for or kindly argue who gets to use the studio first. That was our biggest problem, especially when class schedules were involved. It would be like, okay, guys, come on, please.
Right. But the most important actually is people skills, and of course having being compassionate. Actually, being compassionate.
Yeah.
With everyone you work with. Pagdating ng compassion, ang daming aspects na maapektuhan.
Yeah, and that's already like you as a person also, because like making a movie is a very difficult thing, and on top of that, people have like whatever else is going on in their lives, so it's really important to remember to be nice no matter what happens, no matter what stress comes.
Yeah, as much as possible. Well, luckily naman, all my sets are happy sets. And we keep a happy set as much as possible. Just be nice, and just be nice to each other. Of course, there are moments where you have to learn to be firm at kailangan pa ng sungit, but generally be nice always.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're approaching the end of the hour, but before that, lastly for you as a director, when are you satisfied with what you've made? Especially because you like to test your limits, you like to push things forward. But when do you know, like, okay, this is it. This is the take. This is the concept. This is the final.
It's usually gut feel. It's usually follow your instinct. And if this is what I thought about, that felt na parang ganito dapat yung eksena, and ganito dapat yung maramdaman ko. If I felt that in a certain scene, then I'm happy. And ayun naman yung important kasi, di ba, what gives you the uniqueness as a director is what you follow in your heart and what you follow in your instincts, and that's what makes you unique. Because it's not all about following a template on a book or following technical instructions. We different directors are different types of storytellers, and what makes them work is when they follow what ayun yung operative term, what feels right for them.
All right, now the very last question. A film set, as we mentioned earlier, is a very good metaphor and training ground for real life because of the things that happen within it. So in times when you feel overwhelmed, this can be like on set, off set, it's kind of just the same. What advice can you give, or what can we do? Like for you, what can we do in times when we feel overwhelmed?
Ako, trust your team.
Trust your team.
Trust your team, and sometimes, and most of the time, trust the process as well. Kasi ayun nga, there are certain times that you feel overwhelmed, but at the same time, you have all these people. Well, it's a different story if you're working by yourself, right? But but at most times, you have all these people working with you, hindi for you. You have all these people working with you to make things right. At kapag nawawala ka, you ask for help and be honest about it. Kasi parang ako, when I feel overwhelmed, parang kunwari tinanong ako, kunwari may nagtanong sa akin na anong magiging ganito, ganyan. Pag hindi ko alam, sasabihin ko talaga. Hindi ko alam, pag-usapan natin. Parang sabihin mo when you know about something, and because you get your, and it's not just on a film set, it's in life in general, in different occupations in general. You get all these people to work with you kasi alam mong magaling sila in their specific departments. So you actually tap on what they're good at and and hayaan mo silang maging magaling doon. Huwag kang maggaling-galingan na So, ayun lang. So when you feel overwhelmed, just trust that there are other people to actually help you out and fill in the gaps.
That's very good advice, especially I like what you said, that they're not working for you, they're working with you, and you're carrying out this vision. That's very good to remember, batchmates, as we go through thesis as groups. We're working together. And of course, trust the process. I think that's something that I personally needed to hear right now. So thank you for that.
Right, yeah. And that's one thing that I actually learned along the way, after so many projects. Kailangan aminin mo minsan sa sarili na hindi ka laging in control. At hindi naman dapat na lagi kang in control. Yeah.
That's true. No, because we as humans, naturally, we like to have things under control. We like to be in charge of what happens the next day, but naturally also we can't control that. So very good advice on an offset. So thank you for that, Derek. And now the hour is over, but before we say goodbye and before I give the floor to you, please allow me to thank a few people first. So before we say goodbye to everyone in our audience and all of that, please allow me to thank James for handling the broadcast, and to Sir Justin for his support. I hope you're feeling better. Thank you once again to our audience for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. It's another month. Wow, we're entering the next quarter of the year, and I can't believe it's August already. That's wow, speed. So don't miss out. Follow us on Instagram at newwave.rk to stay updated. Head over to our Facebook page called New Wave and join the Facebook community group on the page for replays, additional content, engagements, and ways you could get featured on the show. Also, if the Facebook page doesn't come out, just type in our Instagram handle and it should come out. So yes, catch the replay on Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM's Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter Live, all of which much go by at Radio Katipunan. And don't forget that you can also now listen to this episode and many more as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor under the name New Wave. But most of all, thank you to our guest, Direk Bobby. Thank you for joining us today. It was so nice to see you again, and I'm glad you're safe. So the floor is yours to say everything you want to say. Invite people to watch your movie and everything. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Maxine, and thank you to everyone listening out there and watching. Since nasa streaming platform yung movie ko ngayon, invite ko na kayo to watch actually all my other movies na nasa streaming platforms din. From Hospicio to My Lockdown Romance and Hell Come Home. So actually may dalawang horror doon, and then yung isa BL love story, boy love story. The three of them are in I Want TFC right now. So you can stream them for free there. And yung current movie ko, which is Thank You for Making Tahan #1 sa Viva Max. Panoorin nyo din po. It's still running on Viva Max. Of course, this disclaimer lang, it's an adult movie. So, wag niyong isama yung mga maliliit na kapatid. But watch it at your convenience sa Viva Max app or website. And then coming on September, ito naman yung Bula with Ayana Misola naman. So, hope you can watch that. And thank you, Radyo Katipunan, and thank you, Maxine.
Thank you, Direk. Before we go, I just wanted to say good afternoon, Ma'am Jen. Hello. Thank you for joining us. I know how busy and how stressed you were today. And of course, good afternoon and God bless you to Maria Victoria Eda Ponan. Thank you for joining us this week and every week. So once again, thank you, Direk. And once again, I'm Max. And when it comes to what's happening, I'll serve you the facts. And this has been New Wave. I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on
New Wave. Surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle. Mga Katipuneros, it's time